Zack Snyder, a well-known filmmaker, is famous for making long, mature versions of his movies. But some people were surprised when he decided to release shorter, PG-13 versions of his Rebel Moon movies on Netflix first.
I just really wanted to make a giant atmospheric and space adventure.
This might seem different from what he usually does, but it makes sense when you look at his history of releasing different versions of his films. Before we dive into more details, subscribe to the Cine Wizard, your ultimate guide to movies and TV shows. Hit the bell icon to stay up to date on the latest news and reviews.
I was given memories of a world I will never see.
The PG-13 version of Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire, is coming out on December 22, 2023, and Rebel Moon, The Scar-Giver's PG-13 cut will be released on 19th April 2024. We don't know yet when the longer R-rated cuts will be released, but each Rebel Moon movie is said to have an extended director's cut, adding 45 minutes to an hour more content, expanding the world and story. Even though director's cuts are not common for Netflix movies, it makes sense for Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's reputation for making director's cut began before the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. The campaign for the release of this version made extended cuts a hot topic. People often call the Snyder cut the better version of a film. The success of the longer ultimate cut of Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice set the stage for the Snyder cut of Justice League. Snyder's reputation for director's cuts didn't start with Batman vs Superman. Films like Dawn of the Dead, Sucker Punch, and Watchmen also had longer, better versions released. However, Snyder is still hoping to release a proper director's cut for Sucker Punch. A few of his movies like 300, Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, Man of Steel, and Army of the Dead haven't received alternate cuts. Despite assumptions that director's cut were a thing of the past for Snyder with his Netflix deal, Rebel Moon contradicts this. There was a belief surrounding Snyder's movies that the studio was restricting him from releasing his preferred versions. However, with Netflix offering more creative freedom, it was assumed this wouldn't be a problem. But it's confirmed that both Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire, and Rebel Moon, The Scar-Giver will have director's cuts. The situation with Rebel Moon is different from Batman vs Superman or Zack Snyder's Justice League because the director's cuts were planned with Netflix in advance. Snyder even shot specific material for the director's cut, knowing it wouldn't be in theatrical version. Usually, a director's cut is a version a director wants to release theatrically, and any changes or compromises along the way. Snyder's plan might confuse some, but is logical in a broader context. Not all of the Snyder's director's cuts were due to studio interference. Dawn of the Dead's director's cut was planned to boost DVD sales. Sucker Punch's theatrical cut was influenced by his wish to keep it PG-13, and Watchmen's theatrical cut was because of his desire for an IMAX release. Watchmen's theatrical cut is comparable to Rebel Moon because it arose from Snyder's wish for a specific theatrical experience. He prioritized runtime limits for an IMAX release, knowing his preferred longer version would be available for home viewing. Creating different versions for different experiences isn't new. It's like the Lord of the Rings extended editions. While not as common these days, releasing multiple versions of movies ahead of time is not a novel idea.
Loyalty to a king I cannot serve.
Snyder promises that the director's cuts of Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire, and Rebel Moon, The Scar-Giver will each have 45 minutes of an hour of additional content, offering truly different experiences. This also benefits Netflix by providing more choices of viewers. Releasing director's cut of Rebel Moon might not be typical for Netflix or essential for Snyder, but it offers more options and value to Netflix. If the Rebel Moon franchise grows, this might become a popular trend for the streaming platform.
And love for a child I could not save.
For more updates, subscribe to the Cine Wizard and hit the bell icon.